Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats, and it's enrollment season, so families are planning ahead for the 2024-25 school year, which I'm still not used to saying. That sounds like so far in the future, but it'll be here before we know it. So today on our channels, we're featuring Great Hearts Online, which is you may have heard of Great Hearts Texas, which is bricks and mortar schools, but Great Hearts Online is the online full-time online version of that, but it's still a tuition-free public charter school. So to talk with me about Great Hearts Online, we have Dr. Roger LaMarca, and he is the Senior Vice President of Business Operations for Great Hearts Online. So Roger, thank you for joining me on Charter Moms Chats.
Yeah, Inga, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to share what we're doing and look forward to having questions and sharing just what we can offer to these students.
Thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, I made a reference earlier to Great Hearts Texas, which is the bricks and mortar schools, but today we're talking about Great Hearts Online Texas. So I was wondering, could you talk about like the mission and vision, like big picture? Maybe if people aren't familiar with what Great Hearts Online is about.
Yeah, I'm happy to report that Great Hearts Online and our Great Hearts Texas, our brick and mortars, that we have the exact same mission. And that is to cultivate the minds of students through the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. And so we are a classical education institution, and the curriculum that we provide online is very, very similar. I can't say it's exactly the same because every teacher teaches second grade just slightly different, even at our brick and mortar campuses, but we teach the exact same curriculum, the exact same learning outcomes, the exact same classical foundations, all with the purpose of pursuing truth, goodness, and beauty.
Yeah. As a former Great Hearts parent, I had my kids at a bricks and mortar school. So classical education is something that I really appreciate. And I think it's great to have the flexibility to offer it in an online school. But I imagine for families, it may be a little hard to wrap their head around, what is a school day like? And I know for Great Hearts Online, there's actually kind of two different options, right? Like there's sort of a teacher-led option, and then there's also the flexible week schedule. So I don't know, can you talk more about like sort of day in the life of a Great Hearts Online student? Maybe give parents an impression of what that's like.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We do give our students two different choices. And so one choice is a live model. And how that works is that a student will join our class at approximately 8 a.m. They'll have 4 classes that are approximately 50 minutes each, and they will sit down in a Zoom meeting and connect directly with a live teacher who asks questions, who teaches assignments, who shows how to complete projects, who engages the student, and they follow the exact same things that we do in our brick and mortar. They are required to sit correctly. They raise their hands. They wear uniforms. They're just like our brick and mortar students. The only difference is that we do it in a virtual setting versus a brick and mortar setting. So that is one option that is available for our students. The second option is our flexible model. And the flexible model is built for families who maybe want to travel or maybe want to have a little bit more control over how and what their students learn, maybe want to have their students engage in different types of social activities. We see students come to the Flex program for a lot of different reasons, but the Flexible program is built exactly for that purpose, to provide flexibility to families so that they can choose when and how their students learn. With flexible learning, there is the same assignments, same requirements, same activities. The difference is that the student is given more flexibility on when the assignments are due. They don't have to go to school from 8 to 4 every day. They can go at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever they choose to be up and about. And if you have a second grader, you probably don't want them up at 1 o'clock in the morning, but that does have that flexibility that they can do at a time that they choose. How the assignments work is that everything's due by the end of the term. And so the student has, let's say school starts August 10th, they'll have till approximately October 15th. And during that time, they can submit assignments, work on different projects, talk to their teachers, ask questions, get feedback, still have that connection, but they don't have to be there every day at a specific time. They can do it whatever time works for them.
Well, I appreciate the way you showed what's different about the teacher-led instruction and versus the flexible week schedule or flexible schedule, because there's pros and cons to both. And in addition to having been a Great Hearts parent, I've also been a homeschool parent. And so I know how it feels when you're trying to, make sure there's no gaps and have a structured day for your kid and have some fun and have some, make sure that they're moving at the right pace. And, it can be overwhelming. And so knowing that you can tap into, right, like just choosing curriculum is one of the most stressful things about homeschooling. And so, right, by choosing Great Hearts Online, you're getting the Great Hearts curriculum, right, and getting access to classical education.
And let me say that homeschool families love, and again, they love the live model too, but they love this flexible model because it's exactly what you're talking about. As a homeschool family, a lot of times you're trying to create activities and projects and engage the student and get them to do the things that they love. And it's hard every day to say, okay, what's tomorrow look like? What's the assignments going to be? How do we make sure we stay on pace and that they are meeting second grade requirements or fifth grade requirements, whatever those are? Well, with that foundation of the Great Hearts flexible curriculum, you know that they are learning what they're supposed to be learning in second grade. You know that they are staying on pace with every other student at their age level. And you know that every day you're going to have this foundation of assignments and activities and projects that a student can work on. Now, you can absolutely supplement with all sorts of other things, right? We encourage our families to go to the parks and go to the museums and take them on different activities and engage in different types of assignments that you want as a homeschool family. But it does give you that foundation to build on and makes being a homeschool family just a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about homeschooling is that we actually weren't home that much.
Yeah,
That's one of the best things about it. Yeah, but and then I know so I've had fortunately have past interviews with about Great Hearts Online, and I've been able to interact with some of the Great Hearts Online teachers. And actually, one of the early Great Hearts Online teachers was my daughter's teacher at elementary school and here in San Antonio. And so I know firsthand that these are really skilled teachers. They're very passionate about this particular teacher specialized in literature, and when she would talk about the Chronicles of Narnia, she would really bring it to life and get the students really excited about the book, but also get them starting to learn to annotate and starting to support their arguments with text evidence to each other and their little beginnings of seminars.
Yeah, that is exactly our core and our foundation. It's not just about reading the book. It's about understanding, why is this classical literature? Why is this important? Why are the main characters choosing to do the things that they're doing? What was going through their head as they were making those decisions and allowing critical thinking to take place? It's a lot more engaging than just, we need you to read chapter 1. And reading is important. We want every kid to learn how to read, but as they learn how to read, we want them to question and ask and learn. One of the really cool things that we just did last week, and I saw pictures of all of our online students, our live students and our flexible students. We had a day where students were asked to dress up as their favorite literary character, and students would show up dressed as all sorts of things. And even our flexible students, they would dress up in their homes. They would take pictures and they'd post them to our forums, and they could show that they were also participating in the activities and being a part of this literary character day. And so we love that. We want them to love reading. We want them to love the characters and the curriculum. And that's a major focus for us and our teachers.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me ask you. So, the story you shared about Literary Character Day that got me thinking. So, I think one of the questions that that comes up when parents they're debating about, do we homeschool? Do we choose full-time online school? Do we try to do a brick and mortar school? Is they want to make sure that their students are having relationships with adults, like their teachers, and relationships with their peers. And so, and I think for an online school, you have to be more conscious and more deliberate about how you create a sense of community and how you foster those relationships. So what advice do you have for parents who are maybe concerned, like, okay, well, will my child build social skills and build confidence and learn how to relate to their peers and their teachers?
Yeah, so absolutely, in the curriculum we build those activities in, and what I mean by that is, let's take a flexible student who is required to make a presentation, or a live student who's required to make a presentation. Either way, the student is taught the correct way to sit, the correct way to communicate, the correct way to present their facts and findings and make their arguments. And whether they do that in a live session where others are watching, or whether they do it in a recorded session and upload it for a teacher to review and give feedback, they're expected to act in those ways. Okay. In addition to that, our students are not void of relationships. I mean, they have classmates that they talk to, they have teachers that they talk to. We have virtual times that students can get together and work on assignments and activities and discuss the literature or what they're doing this Friday, right? Whatever they choose to discuss. We have geographical activities, and in San Antonio, we actually do quite a few of them because San Antonio is a big location where we have a lot of students. And so we do a lot of days at the park or days at the museum, and it allows these online students to get together and connect with each other. We have grade level Facebook pages. And so if you're in third grade, you can join the third grade Facebook page and you can talk to all of the other families and all of the other parents and see what they're doing and get together with them and get to know them. So our students have lots of opportunities to connect, to talk to each other, to work on assignments and activities, and they socialize, I would say in a lot of ways more than even when you're sitting in a brick and mortar, because you have this time that's dedicated to meeting your other classmates, talking to them and connecting with them.
If it's that like virtual class time when it's more social time, then they all get to like bring their pet on screen, right? Like meet everybody's cats and dogs. Right?
Yeah, I think that's very true. Our brick and mortar students have probably never seen your dog, but our online students definitely have. And we oftentimes will see parents and things in the back too, and parents will wave and say hi. And it's just a way to engage with that student in a different way than what you do when you go to class every day. So
yeah. So it's different, but it's something new, and it can be special as well in its own ways.
yeah.
So okay, so one of the questions I wanted to ask, it highlights. Okay, so currently in Texas, Graders Online is serving grades K through 9, right? And so this is the first year of having high schoolers in Graders Online Texas. So I was wondering if you could comment about what is the high school experience like for Great Hearts Online students? And then y'all are going to keep adding a grade every year until Great Hearts Online Texas is fully K through 12, right?
That is correct. So this year we currently have about 70 students who are in our 9th grade class. And this has been an amazing experience. There were several things that we wanted to ensure that all of our Great Hearts high schoolers were able to participate in. And one is Humane Letters. If you don't know Humane Letters, it is kind of the foundation of classical education. And Humane Letters is really a concept of Socratic discussion based off of the materials and the assignments that are being presented. Humane Letters is actually our English class and our history class combined. And the reason we do that is because we'll read, for example, the Iliad, and we will talk about these ancient cultures and again, why they're making the decisions that they are, why they're traveling across these countries to go to these different places, and what's happening in history at this time to understand what's taking place in this literature. And so Humane Letters is a foundation of classical education. It's also this amazing opportunity for students to talk, to express opinions. Most of this class is not lecture-based. In fact, it's not lecture-based at all. It's probing questions that force conversations. And the teacher in these classes rarely is teaching. They are often asking questions and directing and guiding and allowing other students to bring up points and argue different ideas and allow this conversation to take place. This leads to just the most phenomenal students that I've ever seen. When you spend 4 years learning to argue points and come prepared to point out what you believe is the correct answers, and when you understand history more than just this took place in 1942, but understand why that took place and what was happening politically and throughout the world and what the circumstances were that led to that, these children come away with just an amazing ability to critically think, an amazing ability to solve problems, and they're very well prepared for the world that they face. In fact, I often share that our high school students in brick and mortar in Great Hearts as a whole, not necessarily online because we haven't graduated any online high school students yet, but Great Hearts as a whole, our average ACT score is very high. It's like 27 or 28. And our students are just prepared for the world that they go out into. And Humane Letters is a huge piece of that. A second piece that we wanted students to be able to get college credit. And so we have partnered with a number of different institutions, and we have created ways for students to get college credit. And this year, our ninth graders will earn somewhere between 6 and 10 credits, depending on the schedule that they choose. As sophomores, they'll earn probably 10 to 15 credits. As juniors, they'll earn another probably 12 to 18 credits. And as seniors, they'll probably earn 15 to 18 credits. And that will prepare them to have especially their general education certificate completed, and potentially as much as their associate's degree, depending on how long they're with us and how hard they work and what they do. We had a lot of students who graduated from Great Hearts come back and tell us that when they went to college, they ended up having to take introduction to English and introduction to biology and introduction to physics. And they're like, it was the easiest classes I ever took because in high school, I really learned these materials and I knew how to use them. And it was kind of a huge waste of my time and money as a college student to have to kind of retake these classes. And so we said, we're going to make sure that you get that credit while you're in high school. And our students do. They start in as early as ninth grade. And by the time they graduate, they will have, well, at least their general education certificate, which is about 34 credits, and potentially as high as their associates, which would be about 60 credits. So,
yeah, well, that's
what we were looking for. Yeah. That's what we were looking for high school students. And we offer that to all of our ninth grade students this year. 10th grade will continue to do that. 11th grade the year after, 12th grade the year after. And by the time these students graduate, they will have all of these pieces in place to prepare for college and for their future.
Yeah, well, the fact that Great Hearts Online can offer college credit to the high school students is, I mean, that's very innovative. Like that's something that currently the bricks and mortar campuses don't offer, like a college credit option. So, but I think it shows the strength of classical education that, you know, things like the Humane Letters seminar and those kinds of Socratic discussions, like that's a very long-standing tradition in education, but it can be adapted to things like open enrollment public charter schools, you know, online schools, you know, Zoom classes, you know, and like, right. So you can still stay true to classical education and offer students benefits like the college credit, because you're helping them navigate and transition their way into, you know, the broader world with these systems, right? Like how do you get to your four-year college degree as cost effectively as possible and not spending time on classes that are repeating things that they had already done as advanced work in high school.
Yeah, I have a daughter who graduated from high school 2 years ago, and she was able to participate in a program similar to this, and she ended up with 39 credits by the time she graduated. Well, when she went to her college of choice, I calculated, and it was like $25,000 that we saved by not having to take those 39 credits in her first year and a half. So it's a significant savings, and it really prepares these students, not just to save money, but they're better prepared for college. They're better prepared for the world that they're going into. And we see a lot of students burn out when they get into their fourth, fifth years of their bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. If we can bring them in with a bunch of credits, then it helps them not get burned out as quickly. It helps them get done and move on with the rest of their lives.
Yeah, get to the finish line, get the diploma. But you know, but as Great Hearts students, they will always be lifelong learners, right? Because they will come up, you know, asking good questions and asking why and debating things.
It's true. Sometimes we might get burned out from taking classes, but we always learn, and we always read, and we're always engaging with new content, and we're always critically thinking. I mean, that's what we want from all of our students, is that they love learning and they continue to do that throughout their lives.
Yeah. Well, it's really exciting for me to hear about the high school program, because when I remember Great Hearts Online, you know, came together very quickly. You know, it was kind of a response to the pandemic, but clearly there's a need for it on an ongoing basis, like to offer families this flexibility, right? Because like there's currently Great Hearts bricks and mortar campuses, here in the San Antonio area, and then in North Texas, right? Like Fort Worth, Irving, Arlington. But like I've spoken with a family from Texarkana, and there's no Great Hearts bricks and mortar campus anywhere near Texarkana, but they were able to access Great Hearts curriculum and Great Hearts teachers through Great Hearts Online.
Yeah, I think two things there. One is that we did start because of the pandemic and the need for it, but even when we started it, we knew it was something that needed to be done. We had been discussing it even prior to that, and we said we wanted to not just build it for the pandemic, but build it for the long term. And we've done that. The system is built now to continue to grow, continue to offer classes and opportunities for students. The second piece is that some of these campuses do fill up. In fact, I think all of them have waiting lists, usually in the thousands. And if you're sitting on a waiting list, you might be saying, we really want this classical Great Hearts education, but we can't get in this year. We might not be able to get in next year. Well, if you join our online campus, one, we have more flexibility and spacing because we're online. So we do have some classes that fill up. We can't offer everything to everybody all the time. So I'd encourage you to, if you're thinking about it, apply early and make sure you get in. But we do have usually more flexibility than what a brick and mortar will have. And students who come to the online campus do get credit for being in a Great Hearts school, and it increases the likelihood of getting into a brick and mortar in future years. Now, we want you to stay online forever, so don't go to the brick and mortar, but I know that a lot of families are really interested in that space as well. And things change. I had a middle schooler who was online during middle school, but wanted to be in a physical space during high school. And so I get that as well as a parent. Online fits in some places and it doesn't fit in others, and we want to serve those students the best we can based off of their needs at the time that they're with us.
So we have a comment from Facebook. Hi, Bridie. And she comments that families in Houston are interested in Great Hearts Online because at this point, there are still no Great Hearts brick and mortar campuses in Houston.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you're embracing the Great Hearts Online. I wish I knew if we were opening a campus there, but I've not heard any rumors about that happening in the near future. So Great Hearts Online is a wonderful opportunity. We hope you're with us for a long time.
Yeah. See, and you mentioned about, let's see, we talked about, we've covered a lot of great stuff about, so I want to mention, so we've been talking about Great Hearts Online Texas, and of course I'm based in San Antonio, and most of our viewers are in the San Antonio area, but there is also Great Hearts Online in Arizona, correct?
That's true. Yeah, we have a very robust campus there in Arizona as well. We offer the same live and flex opportunities there. Same schedule, same activities, same curriculum, same everything. So if you happen to be in Arizona, that is available to you there. We also have, we are expanding as well. And I can't say necessarily where exactly we're going to be this upcoming year, but we do have opportunities if you're outside of Arizona or Texas. And so if you're outside of it and you're saying, hey, we want to be a part, please reach out to us, and our enrollment teams can tell you what opportunities might be available if you live in one of the other states. Some of them, the reason I can't go into all the details is because every state is slightly different. Some of them have funding that we can use. Some of them you have to pay. Some of them there's funding plus pay. But if you're looking into that and that's something you're looking for, we would love to talk to you and see if we can find a way to make it work for you.
Yeah, well, and that's even like I know from I've spoken with Great Hearts Online teachers, and like some of them are based here in Texas, but some of them are far away, right? Like so, like you're joining us from Utah, and I think there are teachers in Mexico City, right? And these are just different places I've heard. So I don't know what's the farthest away Great Hearts Online teacher that you know.
That's a great question. The furthest, I can't say that I know of the furthest away. I know we have in Ohio, or maybe not Ohio, north mid states. I don't know if it's Ohio or Illinois or whatever, but I know we have a student or a teacher there. I know we have some in Arkansas. I know we have some on the East Coast, like Virginia, North Carolina, those areas. But I don't know who is our furthest away. Last year we did have a teacher in Mexico City. I don't believe she is teaching this year though. Um, she was a wonderful teacher and we loved her, but I think she's moved on to a different opportunity there. So
Yeah, but then it's and students can it's from I guess yeah, we can kind of talk about the nuts and bolts like the current grade levels, it's K through 9 in the current school year, and there are open seats in some grade levels for the current school year, right? So even if a family right, and so like a lot of our enrollment discussion is encouraging families to plan ahead, but there may be families who are realizing, hey, we need to change sooner rather than later, and they can apply and find out if there's an opening in the grade level they're looking for.
That is 100% accurate, and so we encourage you to. If you are saying, man, what we chose this year is not working for us, or we want more stability as we homeschool families, or my kids are one of the things we see a lot of is that a kid is having social anxiety or being bullied or having a hard time in a brick and mortar space for whatever reason. Well, absolutely. We keep our doors open. We want the students to come. And so if you're looking for something now, apply. And our enrollment team will reach out to you. They'll talk to you about what classes and what grade levels are full and which ones aren't. I think we only have one grade level that is just bursting at the seams at the moment, and it's 7th grade. But we do have a little bit of turnover. And so even if you're in 7th grade, feel free to apply, because sometimes some students leave and end up in different places, and that will open up a seat. And if so, we'd love to have you come and be a part of that. Plus, I'm sure we'll see some transition as we move into the next semester. That's always something that takes place as well. So, so please apply, please come in, please call us, please reach out if you have questions or need anything. We'll be more than happy to answer questions and help determine if this is a good fit for your son or daughter.
Yeah, and this is prime time. So if families are planning ahead for the 2024-25 school year, then across Great Hearts, so I know Great Hearts Texas Bricks and Mortar is also having open enrollment for the month of November. So November 1st through 30th is open enrollment, and like you said, sometimes the grade level will fill up, and so the best chances or the best plan is to plan ahead and get the application in during open enrollment. But it's not like November 30th is not the cutoff. It's like you can still apply after November 30th.
You absolutely can, and we encourage you to. Again, circumstances change. I mentioned that my son was online during middle school and then he went back for high school. Well, it was in the middle of the year that he was saying, hey, I'm not happy here. I'm not enjoying it. I'm really struggling with friends and social. And we said, well, let's bring you home for a little bit. Let's take care of you. Let's make sure that you're in a good position where you feel comfortable. And once he was ready, we were able to move him back. So it doesn't have to be at the beginning of the year. It doesn't have to be at the beginning of a term. There are opportunities. Open enrollment is open though. I would encourage you to apply. Like we said, we do have seats that fill up. This next year, we may have a little less availability than we have this year. So it's a good opportunity to make sure that you're in and have one of those seats. Plus, as our brick and mortars have less and less availability because they have more and more students trying to apply, that reduces our availability a little bit as well. And so it's something that I would encourage. If you're thinking about it, apply, get on the list. Join now if it works for you, join in January if it works for you, or join next August if that's the right fit for your family.
Yeah, and so for the folks who might be listening on the podcast and they can't see the screen, I've got it on the screen. The website, it's greatheartsonline.org. That goes to the overall website. You can click on the tab that says Texas, or if you just type in /GHO-Texas, that takes you to Great Hearts Online Texas specifically.
Correct. Yeah.
And there's an apply button on the page, but if you want to go directly, it's greathearts.schoolmint.net. That's the overall Great Hearts enrollment page, and then you'll be able to select that you're applying to Great Hearts Online through that system.
Yes.
So, but I recommend go to the website first because I find Schoolmint kind of overwhelming. That's if you are ready to fill the application. But if you want more information, going to the Great Heights online website is better. And are y'all going to have any like virtual information sessions or things like on the social media pages?
Yeah. So I know, for example, we're doing one in just a few days in Arizona. And so I know that doesn't necessarily apply to all of your audience, but that is taking place here in just a few days. And then I'm certain that there's a scheduled for one in Texas. I believe it's towards the end of November is when that's scheduled as well. But yes, we do those virtuals. We try to answer questions in a large setting like this, but you can also reach out to us. You can reach out via phone, or you can reach out through one of our requests for information on our website. And an enrollment person will call and talk to you. They'll answer your questions. They'll listen to anything that you need. And they'll be happy to explain, how the funding works. Again, if you're in Texas or Arizona, then it's covered. It's a tuition-free model. But they'll be happy to go through all of that, make sure that you get all the right applications and things completed, and make sure you're ready. So
yeah,
we're here to serve the best we can, and we'd love to hear from you so that we can do that.
Yeah. Oh, and Bridie has a helpful reminder. So, so at San Antonio Charter Moms, we have these events we call School Discovery Days at different like parks and community centers, museums around town. And Great Hearts Texas and Great Hearts Online share a table, so a family can come and they can ask questions about the bricks and mortar Great Hearts Texas schools. They can also get information about Great Hearts Online at our School Discovery Days. And the next one is coming up November 11th at Confluence Park.
Yeah. And I was going to say the Schoolmint application that you showed just a second ago, you can apply to online, but you can also apply to any one of our brick and mortars on that one. So if you're here because you're interested in brick and mortar, that's a place where you can go to fill out that application as well. Their open enrollment is also taking place right now. I am certain that there will be a lottery for those seats because we fill up all of those seats and we usually have really long waiting lists for those. But go and apply. You can choose, when you apply, you can choose several schools, and you could say, I want to be in the San Antonio campus, but if I don't get in, I'd also be interested in the online campus. That's something that you can do. Or you can just say, I want online, or you can say, I just want San Antonio. But it gives you lots of choices as you apply.
Yeah, yeah. And we even know families who got into the campus across town, made the long drive for a year, and then transferred to the campus near their home. So yeah. Parents they'll try pretty hard. They'll go a pretty long way to do what's best for our kids. So.
I love it. And that's the right thing. We all want what's best for our children. We all know that they're our futures here. And the effort and time that we put into them pays off. And we believe that as a school. I can't tell you, there's so much love and so many people who are just passionate about what we do here at Great Hearts, that your students really will have a lot of love and a lot of support and a lot of people caring about them and helping them grow.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about the innovation and the flexibility that I see coming from Great Hearts Online because I appreciated the Great Hearts education that my kids received, but it made me sad that there were families who couldn't make it to a bricks and mortar campus, and that's why I just try to make as many families aware as possible that they have more choices than they realize.
And we greatly appreciate that. Let me tell you, if any of you are Great Hearts Online families, or even if you're not, tell all of your friends, send them all a text, force them to call and talk to us because we would love to help them if we can. So
yeah. Well, and exciting that this is becoming available in more states as well, even though we can't break all the details here, but but they can talk to a representative from Great Hearts Online and find out what the status is in those other states.
Yeah, I anticipate this upcoming year that there'll be tuition free in probably 2 or 3 more states, and then there'll be tuition where there's some sort of cost in probably 2 or 3 other different states. So if you're looking at that, talk to us and we'll see what's available in your area.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting new world, and I'm really happy that I'm grateful for what you're doing, and you and the whole team at Great Hearts Texas Online, to bring this to so many more students.
Yeah, absolutely, wonderful.
Okay, well, thanks so much. Thanks for joining me on Charter Moms Chats. I've learned a bunch of new stuff today, and I'm really happy to share this with our audience.
We really appreciate it as well. let us know if there's anything that you need. If you ever need, please, I mean, every enrollment person knows my name and email and phone number. I don't think Inga has it, so I don't even know if she can share it. But if anybody ever needs to get a hold of me, you're welcome to do that as well. And if you have it, Inga, share it.
Yeah, I've got. If you're okay sharing it, I'll put your email up on the screen. So
know that, yes, please do. And know that I'm happy to take questions, answer things, reach out to people in any way. Again, we're all here to serve. And if there's something we can do, we're happy to do it. So don't hesitate to let me know if there's something you need as well.
Okay, so for folks on the podcast, so it's Roger, ROGER .LaMarca, LAMARCA at greatheartsnova.org. So Nova is that's the innovation aspect of what y'all do.
That is right. That's correct. So.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you, Roger, for joining me on Charter Moms Chats, and thank you for making yourself available to help answer families' questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Inga. Really appreciate it.
All right. Take care.